Okay, I'm back with a video blog again. This is edition number 5, I guess. Wow, I didn't know I'd make it to 3 or 2. Then, I don't know. I just wanted to have a place to get my thoughts out, And I feel they're important. Maybe they're not to anybody else. It matters to me that might not be important to other people because they are important to me. And I feel that if the rest of the world felt more like I do and passion, I see the corruption in the world and it pains me. It does. It pains me. It makes me angry and it makes me sad and it makes me pray there's a God because some of these people need to go to hell, man. They're just like wrong. And I always think about Trump when I think about people that are doing the wrong thing continuously. And he's like the poster child for the bad role model. I mean, the man has no good in him, I don't think. I don't think he's ever done a charitable or a good thing in his life. He's got to have something on the back end of everything he's done. I mean, I've researched him more than any other individual in my life because I'm just fascinated by how self-centered and egotistical and arrogant and it's like if you can think of a bad human trait, he has it. An undesirable trait. It's just sad that a man like that can become the leader of the free world. You know what I mean? I understand why it happened, but I don't understand how. And I didn't want to talk about that, so let's not. What I want to talk about is, I don't know, coronaviruses. I saw Andrew Cuomo on a video, the governor of New York, and I made a comment on the video. It was on YouTube, and I made a comment about how calm he was and how well he's handled this emergency. I mean, he had a shitload of crap dumped on his plate, and I thought he's handled it pretty well. And he talked about his father and how high standards his father had and how he'd like to live up to those standards. And I thought maybe he had with this. And somebody said, well, what about the 4,000 seniors he sent back to the... And I didn't hear anything about that, so I don't know about 4,000 senior citizens being sent back to... I don't know the details. He did give details, so I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of questions behind what he said, and I'm not going to go into those here. I just wanted to shout out to that man because I think he deserves it. I think he's, compared to Trump especially, that's a big contrast. Trump is like washing his hands of it. He doesn't want to do anything now because he just wants to let the states do it so that they can take the blame. Yeah, if I don't do anything, I can't be blamed. He's a pig. Okay, and then the valet of Trump's turned up positive, man. That's pretty close to home, isn't it, Trump? I mean, you get tested every day, but that doesn't mean today when you turn up negative that you won't turn up positive tomorrow. You know what I mean? You're not immune just because you get tested. And he seems to think that he doesn't have to wear a mask because he gets tested. And that's not how it works, man. And like some people put it, and I think it's a great way to put it, you're not wearing the mask for you. You're wearing the mask to protect those around you because you don't know whether or not you have it for sure. Pretty much. I mean, some people who've never left their home since it started, are probably not going to have it. But, if you go out and go shopping, somebody might pick up a can and put it back, and you walk along right behind them. They don't know they have it yet. Now you have it, and you don't know it. And you go pick up a can and put it back. It's just that simple. So, it would be justified. It's a bad thing to hope for something bad to happen to somebody, and I feel bad because I do, even though it's him. I never want anything bad to happen to anyone, even my worst enemies, which I don't really have enemies. I just have people I don't like anymore. Yeah, I don't make enemies. I don't get revenge. I don't do that sort of thing. I only think about it, and then that's good enough for me. Just getting it out that way. But anyway, it would be justified if he ended up with it, just because he's not taking precautions. And that's what I'd like to tell those people who don't want to wear their mask. It's not for you. That mask is not to protect you. That mask is to protect those around you. And their mask is to protect you from them. I mean, it's splitting hairs, but it's a more charitable, positive way to look at it, I guess. And it's seriously, wouldn't you feel bad if you weren't wearing a mask, went out and did whatever you were going to do, even taking somewhat lax precautions, and you come home and give it to your mother and she dies because you forgot or decided you didn't want to marry me. You were, and young people I know, because I was there, it's just, you just don't, it's not that you're not going to die. Everybody knows that it's pretty much that they're going to die someday. Unless they're nuts, but I mean, except everything. You just don't think you're going to do it now. You just have this idea you're going to live until you're old. And hopefully you will. But not everybody young lives till they're old. People die young all the time. But when there's something about a young person's brain, they just can't grasp it. And until you get to a certain point and you realize your own mortality is, life is much more fragile than you ever realized. At least that's for me. I mean, I wouldn't do the things that I was reckless. I did things that could have killed me when I was younger. And in fact, I did things that almost killed me. And through trial and error, I learned to be a lot more careful. I wouldn't do things. I wouldn't attempt. I used to ride a Tonka truck, those big old Tonka truck, dump trucks, down a hill that was 60-degree slant. I mean, it was steep, and it was 50 yards down that hill, bumps and everything. And I couldn't figure out why my mom was terrified of me doing it. Oh yeah, kids are crazy, but yeah, he's begging for it. And I almost wish he gets it. I mean, I hate to say it, but I kind of wish he gets it. Maybe not to kill him, but let's put him on a respirator and see how he comes out of that. I'd like him to live so he can maybe have a chance to change. Maybe that would change. I'd like to see him change his ways. Just do a 180. That man's not going to change. That man's all about Donald Trump. And he's incredible, man. I mean, he's fascinating. Not in a good way. I like psychiatry and the mind and the way people think. And this guy is a textbook example of nuts as far as self-ego and self-worth and what lengths he will go to meet his own ends. I mean, he will step on his own children to get what he needs. I mean, there's no cost too great to. I shudder to think of the things he may have done behind closed doors to get what he wants. Now, but two, probably including murder. Not in his own hands, of course. He would never do that. Because if he did, he'd be telling people about it. Because he's just that stupid. That's what happens when you buy an education. You really don't learn anything. I know I keep going back about him, but he's part of the reason this thing's bad. I know it's not all his fault, and people would like to blame him completely, but he has a lot to do with it. And he's still pushing to reopen, and I don't know. I mean, if he does end up getting these states to reopen early, I hope people use their common sense and just stay home anyway. I mean, I just watched a documentary last night about the flu of 1918 or whatever, and I'd heard about it before, and it was horrible, and it killed millions of people, but it makes this one look like child's play. That was, oh my God, you could wake up. You don't know when you got it, but when you realize you did, you wake up in the morning and you're sick, and by the end of the day, you could be dead. People were bleeding out of their eyes and ears and all kinds of things. And so it's just, it could be worse. Let's hope it doesn't get worse. Let's corral this thing while we can before it does get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. That's a given. Everybody admits that, except for Trump. He thinks it's magically going to disappear. And there was a trend in that flu that it did go away or become dormant or something, unless people got it in the warm months. And they believed that it was the way like the soldiers were the ones that were really passing it around, and the reason that they were so susceptible to it because of the fatigue And the conditions were filthy, and it was just ripe for awful things to grow, like dead body corpse juice in these trenches. I don't know if you've ever known anything about World War One, but it was an awful war. It wasn't the heroes' war like World War Two was. This was guys stuck in trenches all winter long. It was, I mean, their feet rotting off because of the water. The water had no place to go. There's no drainage. Mud thicker than axles. I mean, people would drown in the mud. It was like quicksand in some places, they said. So yeah, awful war. Mustard gas, the whole deal. But anyway, it's time to end this thing. I got a timer now, so I don't go over. I went over by 2 minutes already, so I'm trying to keep it at 10, but I have a lot to say sometimes. So I'm done for now. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Corona isolation. Have fun. Try to keep it light.